Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are doing absolutely fantastic today. My name's Mr. Osberg, and as you already know, I wanted to say that in the last lesson, you've made great progress. I really appreciate all the hard work you've put in. We have mastered many of the learning targets that I have set up, that we have set up for each other. But I wanted to touch today on a few. There's a little confusion about using primary and secondary sources. So I wanted to clear up some of that confusion today for some of you. And I wanted to go over, we're going to touch on, again, what primary and secondary sources are and how we can find these sources and how we can ascertain information about the specific social, economic, and political reasons why the United States got into World War I. I mean, there's so many reasons. You know, we've gone over a couple of them, many of them in the last few lessons, but today I wanted to focus on how we can identify specific social, economic, and political reasons through primary and secondary sources. I feel it's very important that we know how to do this, because this is not only a skill that you can use in this class, but you can use it in other classes when you're writing a research paper for English or in future history classes or whatnot. So I did want to start today by I've got set up a little PowerPoint here that we are going to use. So I wanted to start here. Primary and secondary sources. We're going to go over these quick. So primary source is a source that comes straight from a person, a person, or from the time. A primary source is a first-hand account, somebody who was actually there, who experienced it, and they are telling you exactly what happened. It's an original document, an interview. Say a soldier on the front lines was writing a letter to their wife at home. They are there, they experience what's going on, and what they say and send back is going to be a primary source. It is factual. It's, what they're saying is actual fact. It is not somebody trying to explain what they experience. It is what they actually experience, and they are telling it firsthand. This is, letters, like I said, a journal. Maybe they have a diary that they've done. Maybe they wrote a book about it. They took photos. There's the video footage from World War I. I'm going to use that as an example since that's what we're talking about. The video footage that we see, that is a primary source. It is actually happening at the time. An example of that would be news footage, as I said, a letter, a diary. So, a secondary source is sort of an interpretation of a first-hand account. Instead of an autobiography, this is just a regular biography. The person writing or analyzing or interpreting the information, they weren't there. They weren't there to see it and hear it and experience it firsthand. Just change this, not autobiography, but a regular biography. A movie made, a documentary, retelling about what happened. They base their analysis on first-hand primary sources, but they were not there, so they're using what they've gained, the information and knowledge that they've gained, to share with you. Example of a primary source is a video, as I said before, the letters, interviews, even the speeches made by leaders in charge at the time here in the United States. It was President Woodrow Wilson. The documents and acts passed by Congress, anything like that. And secondary source, as I said, would be a book written about about World War One. Somebody who takes a primary source, they interview a bunch of people and then they write a book about it. So anyway, I just wanted to quickly touch on that. Now I want to go over what a social, economic, or political reason is. A social, it's society. The people, the culture, everything that is not necessarily tied to the government or the economy. Say a social would be the treatment of, why Americans felt that they needed to get involved, society in general. Were we feeling threatened at all? One of the major instances why the United States got involved in World War I was the sinking of the Lusitania. There was a lot of public sentiment about the sinking of it. Why was it sunk? It was not a Navy ship. We can look back and have different perspectives on possible reasons why it was sunk. But when Germany started to practice their naval warfare, they targeted us, and society really got into it. But that also ties into economics, trade. How was that affecting our trade? Why did we feel, for us to stay economically viable, we needed to have trade routes open with Europe and the rest of the world, and Germany was trying to close those down. Political reasons. Woodrow Wilson wanted to stay neutral, but obviously, pressure from the citizens and the Senate and Congress and all that, he eventually had to make a decision to get involved in World War One. So today I want to, after we've gone over those, I have this worksheet that we will be doing in class. If I can. And here it is for everyone. We will be filling this out online. I will be available for the next couple hours for you to ask any questions about it. This basically, I've set it up where you're going to have, for primary source, I want you to pick 3 primary sources, one dealing with the social motives, one dealing with the economic motives, and one dealing with the political motives. And then I want you to answer these questions the best that you can. As I said, I will be here for support for the next couple hours in a virtual setting, or you can just email me as need be. But what social motives does the author use? I have provided a list of primary and secondary sources pertaining to World War I in an attachment document in your Canvas, and I want you to use those. You're more than welcome to find your own also, but when you're reading that, I want you to write down what is the article or the whatever the source trying to say about social motives. Let's say, just for example, this first one. How did what in society helped lead us into World War I, and how does that motive impact our direct involvement? Basically, the cause would be the motive, the effect would be the impact. And I have that all set up right here for you. and you can fill it in right here. Like I said, I will be available. I want you, any questions you have, for those of you who I have tailored some of the information, and it is for some of you, and it is specific and set up with different directions in your on your specific paper. I've also included some websites for those with English language learners that you can use to find your information also. Any questions? I'm here for you. I know, as I said, this is kind of a refresher of what we've already learned. I wanted you to understand and grasp it, just the ideas of it, just so you can, just so we can use it later on, and we can build on this as we go further into our future learning units. Once again, the primary and secondary sources are important to understand when you're doing research in all of your classes. So if you have any questions, let me know. I've also attached a video about primary and secondary sources, and as I said, we also have I've included the information as far as where you can find the sources also. So please, if you have any questions, I am here. We can schedule a video chat, or like I said, you can simply just shoot me an email, and I'm here to help you in any possible way.